Hello and welcome to Journey to Lasting Love, the podcast. I am your host, Tina Shayani, and the head coach at TShay Coaching. If you are looking to attract a loving partner to build a relationship with that gets better with time, if you are looking to deepen your current relationship, or you just want to live a happier life, you are in the right place. Every week we will discuss a new topic that will bring you understanding, clarity, and the tools to become the best version of yourself, the happiest version of yourself. Welcome to Journey to Lasting Love. As you know, I am Tina Shayani, your host here, as well as the head coach at TShay Coaching, where we help people attract and build loving relationships. I have a few spots open, actually two, for one-to-one coaching. They won't last forever. So if you are ready to jumpstart your life and get to the next level quickly, send me a message and we can talk about it and see if this is the right fit for you. If you know someone who would benefit from this content, please invite them to follow me on Instagram or to join the Facebook group, Journey to Lasting Love. So we have a very important topic this week, and let's jump right into that. It is one of the hardest decisions in love to make, to stay or walk away, to stay and work on a relationship, or to when is the time to let something go. And I want to be very clear that there is a very large distinction between walking away from a boyfriend or a girlfriend and walking away from a marriage, walking away from a family that involves children. The rules of engagement between these two things are very, very different. And we're going to talk about those differences, and we're going to talk about the appropriate way to break up if ultimately that is what's best for all the parties involved. So I want to start out with the boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. I am the first person to say, when you are somebody's girlfriend, when someone is your boyfriend, it should be wonderful. It should be amazing. You should be giddy. This is the time for that, because relationships become different. The boyfriend-girlfriend stage is the woohoo fantasy stage. So if it's not good at that stage, when it evolves to the next level, it's really not going to be good. And what's the difference between a boyfriend and a husband? You don't share everything with a boyfriend the way that you do with a husband. You don't have a mortgage in common. You don't have children. You don't have household. You don't have all the stressors of everyday life. You're just sharing good times with each other. So if you're sharing just the good times and it's not good, that is an indication to walk away. And I discuss with my clients who are at the beginning stages of relationships, and they say, well, this happened and that happened. And the first thing I ask is this a deal breaker? Is this a deal breaker? This period of when you are boyfriend and girlfriend is a discovery period. You are looking to see and gain information about the other person. Is this a deal breaker? And in fact, what are your deal breakers? What are the things that you absolutely cannot live with? What are the things that are must-haves? And this is something very important to be clear. So in those early stages, if you are fighting, if you are crying, if it's a disaster, if there is yelling and screaming, that is an indication, and I tell this to my clients, not to walk away, but to run. And then run a little bit faster, because this is the time of discovery. This is the time of choosing. And walking away from an unhealthy boyfriend girlfriend relationship is not a failure. It's a discovery. And it's a discovery that will save you a lifetime of difficulty and a lifetime of pain. Because if it's not good at this phase, moving in together, having children together, and this is kind of like an old wives' tale advice that like, oh, if you're together and things are not good, have a child, it'll make things better. Big mistake. It doesn't make things better, because children are a big, wonderful thing. They're a wonderful part of life and a family, and they grow your relationship, but they're also a big stressor. So if things are not already good, that's not going to make, bringing in a stressor is not going to make things better. It's just going to make things more difficult. But that is the time when you are dating someone, is the discovery period, is the time to be deciding, is this for me or is this not for me? And one of the pitfalls of today's society is that we stay too long in this discovery period, this phase of being together. If your ultimate goal is to be married, it doesn't take 5 years, 10 years and living together to make these discoveries. We can make these discoveries about the character of the person, how this person interacts with you, how this person interacts with the world around them, and what is their purpose and what is your purpose with this person. Does this person share your goals and values, and will this lead to the love and life that you dream of? Or are there certain things with this person that are literal deal breakers, things that you absolutely cannot have, and they are just misaligned? And it's not because they're wrong or because they're evil or they're bad people. They can be good, lovely, wonderful people. You can even love each other. But that doesn't mean that this is the person that you can build a life with. You have to find someone, of course, that you love, but there also has to be an alignment, a mutual direction of life. And then you have the opportunity to grow together. So when my clients are at that early stage, I push them and I push them. Is this a deal breaker? Is this a deal breaker? Is this something that you can be okay with indefinitely? Does the good outweigh the bad? Because there is also no one on God's green earth that is perfect. There is someone that is better for you than somebody else, but everyone will have their issues. It's a matter of what those issues are, how big we make of them, and what is there on the other side to make up for those issues. What makes this person special? And does that outweigh the nuances of their personality, let's say? So that's the walking away piece of the boyfriend-girlfriend stage of life. But here in our audience, we also have a lot of people that are further in their relationships. And every relationship has its issues. Nothing, no matter what, is perfect. There will always be difficulties anytime there is more than one person in the room. And let's be real, sometimes we even have conflicts with ourselves. Sometimes we even get disappointed by ourselves. So imagine what it's like to live with another person. So a relationship, no matter how long you've been together, if it's 10 years, 15 years, whatever it is always going to need your attention in order to thrive. If we don't give that relationship the love, attention, and respect, that a marriage deserves, then it is doomed to fail, no matter how good it started out with at the beginning. The death of a relationship comes by inattention and lack of respect. So I want to say to you, if you are in a marriage and there are children involved, the deal breakers are very different than the rules of engagement when it is a boyfriend-girlfriend stage. One, because there is something that brought you together into this relationship. And it is my hope that for most of those relationships, at some point, it was good. And if there are children involved, then we can never truly be away from that other person. We are forever intertwined with that spouse because they are the father or the mother of our children. So if we get to that point that we can no longer live together and we decide that we're no longer going to put our energy and strength into building this relationship, there is still a respectful way to manage the breakup. This is not a transactional relationship. This is not a relationship. And I want to say to you, all marriages are not transactional relationships of what can you do for me? What can I get out of the other person? But it's a matter of how can we grow together? What is best for you and me as a unit? Because once we come together in a marriage, we are no longer separate. And you can criticize the other person from now until the end of time. But make sure that what you are doing is serving you and the relationship and the family. Because once you are married and once you are a parent, you are no longer an island by yourself. Now your life is intertwined with this other person, and your goals and your dreams need to also be intertwined. And this isn't something that happened to you. This isn't a circumstance. This is a choice that you made. This is a commitment that you made. And of course, not all marriages are meant to last forever. There are some marriages, there are some couples that are better off to be away from each other, and it is also better off for the children. But there are also many relationships that can be salvaged. And even if you choose the road of divorce, that relationship still exists. And there is no room for cruelty in that breakup. As painful as it is, and we often want to lash out at the other person and make them suffer because they have hurt us. And that is a natural instinct, but following that instinct is not something that will serve us, because at the end of the day, our goal in everything that we do is to live a better life, to live a more joyful life, and to be vindictive and want to hurt the other person will feel good for the moment that, oh, I got revenge somehow. But when we hurt someone else, we hurt ourselves as well. And the other person that gets hurt even more in this equation is the child or the children that we love. So a lot of what we talk about here is to live your life on purpose. So even if you are in a position that the marriage or the relationship with children is ending, you still have the opportunity to react, even if the other person is not is acting in a terrible way, even if the other person is mean, you have the opportunity to react differently. You have the opportunity to not be, well, you did this, I'll do this, to not be vengeful, and to even create that relationship that is over. Because if we have children, we can never truly get rid of the other person, right? They'll always be somehow involved in most cases. And nothing is definite, nothing is 100%. So please understand that. But we talk in generalities. But in every circumstance, we can choose our own reaction. And even in the face of someone else being unkind, we can still respond with kindness. We can still say, well, this person is acting with anger or meanness, not because they are evil, but because of something in their internal world. And we don't have to take that personally. It's not always about us, but we can choose to look at it and say, what is going on behind this? What kind of difficulty is the other person experiencing in their internal world that they are reacting this way? And when we take a step back and look behind what's going on with the other person, then we can choose our own reaction. That is a choice that we always have. Our own reaction is a choice that we have in even the most terrible and difficult circumstance. So don't give that opportunity up to make a bad situation better. Of course, there are plenty of difficulties in life. Relationships are difficult, but they don't have to stay that way. And we don't need to add to the level of difficulty. If we respond with kindness, it so often diffuses a situation, and it diffuses the other person's anger, because an angry person is looking for an angry response. And when they don't get it, they get taken off guard. I have one particular client that came to me, and she was at the end of her rope with her husband. They have 3 children together. And she said, we used to be so good together. We used to laugh and have a good time together. But now we are at each other's throats all the time. We can't even be in the same room without a screaming match. Then I'm throwing things, he's throwing things. The children are crying. My daughter is hiding under her bed. So what do you do? What do you do? So we went through the scenario together, and we said, okay, so I said to her, when he starts yelling and screaming, you yell and scream, and then he yells and screams louder. Then he throws something and you throw something, and it doesn't get better. So we worked out a plan, and we practiced together that when he is yelling and screaming, how to diffuse the situation. And now this had become a pattern within the 2 of them of how they relate to each other. So she learned to diffuse the situation, and instead of screaming back, she said to him, I don't want to fight with you. Let's calm down and let's discuss this later. And she took herself out of the situation. And her husband just stood there. He was so shocked, because he was expecting the pattern that they've been rehearsing and living for the last, I don't know, I think it's 15 years now, or maybe the last 10 years of the 15 years that they've been together. And he just kind of stood there and he didn't know what to do with it. So slowly, instead of the screaming match that nobody wins, they transitioned into a conversation. And there are ways of having the conversation. We don't tell someone you are mean, you are bad, you did this, you did that. Because when we blame somebody else, what happens is they dig there. Nobody wants to be wrong and nobody wants to be the bad person. So there are ways of communicating our message and our feelings without name calling, without telling the other person that they're wrong, because the truth is nobody wants to be wrong. So slowly, the yelling has stopped in their relationship. And it's not perfect. It's not perfect. Still, it rears its ugly head, but far less often than before. And they are now back to laughing with each other. They are now back to a home of calm for the most part. Not every day is perfect. Sometimes they slide back, but now they have the tools to talk to each other and to communicate with each other without the violence and the yelling and the screaming and the throwing. And she sent me a message not too long ago that now at night before we go to bed, we actually pray together. And that wasn't my suggestion, but that's something that they now do together. And the power of it, the power of acting as a unit, of doing not what's best for you, but doing what's best for the unit. Because once you are married and you are a parent, you are no longer just yourself. Now you are part of a unit, and your job is to act as part of a unit and to do what's best for the unit, not at the expense of yourself, but in addition to your benefit, it benefits the unit, as opposed to doing something that only benefits you to the detriment of the unit. So it shouldn't be to your detriment, and it shouldn't be to the detriment of the family unit. But there are things that you can do, and not every relationship, but many relationships with the proper tools and with the proper guidance and with the desire to want to make it better can be improved. By the same token, a lovely, wonderful relationship without the proper tools and without the proper knowledge, and just by reacting, you can destroy a perfectly good relationship. And I have seen this too. But we have the power to control ourselves. We have the power to either destroy or build, and that is within our hands. And they'll say to me, but my partner doesn't want to talk about it. My partner doesn't this. But you, by yourself, have the power to create change. The story that I talked about, that she said, I don't want to fight with you. He had no idea that she had spoken to me and that she had a new plan and she had a new way of reacting. And I don't know that she ever told him, but he responded to her new way of being without being told what to do. But her reaction, he matched her reaction. And without realizing it, he began to follow her lead, and their life changed instantly. Instantly, their life changed. But again, this is a life that we have to live on purpose. We can't just react in a way that we've always reacted. We can't follow the patterns that we learned from our parents or our society or from television. We have to be thoughtful and live our life on purpose and not on default. So yes, walking away is a very, very big decision. And it is an important decision. And that's why I don't take going into the next phase of life lightly. So really, if you are in a relationship, look at what's going on. And if you are somebody's girlfriend or boyfriend and you are having problems now, solve those problems now. Decide if these are deal breakers before you get further in. And don't spend all of your time just in the gathering information phase. But if you are in a marriage, if you are in a part of a family, those rules for walking away, the effort that you put in to making that relationship better is very different than in the boyfriend girlfriend phase. And even if you choose to walk away from the relationship, understand that there is a way to do that with kindness and with love and without causing damage or more damage to the family unit. There is a way to do it with kindness and with love and to preserve and to limit the pain. So we can maximize the pain and we can limit the pain. I hope that this is helpful. And if you are someone that wants to work through the situation you're in and come to that decision of, is it time to walk away? Or do I take the time and the focus and the energy and the effort to improve the situation that I'm in? And is there hope? If you are in that situation, send me a private message and we can discuss how we can work together if that's something that you are interested in. I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that this brings some inspiration to you. And I look forward to seeing you here next week. Take care, guys. Thank you for joining today's episode of Journey to Lasting Love. If you felt a connection with what we shared here today, visit TShayCoaching.com for resources, blogs, and coaching options custom designed to take you from where you are to the place you dream of being. Join our Facebook group to connect with others or find inspiration on YouTube and Instagram. If you're ready for a personalized touch, you can book a call with me directly on the website to see what this is all about. Until next time, be kind to yourself and keep moving forward on your path to lasting love.